Well, hi, this is Mark Argis, founder director of Youth First, and Happy New Year to everybody. We're looking forward to what 2022 has in store. The start of a new year is a good time to talk about perspective, and perspective is how we see the world, our lens, if you will. And so I got thinking, what is the purpose of kids, especially at the youth levels, playing in sports? Most experts say that kids who participate in sports do better in school. They're healthier, more social, and generally happier kids. But is that really the case? Are there other things to consider? And don't get me wrong, I grew up playing sports all my life, and now I've coached for over 40 years. So I'm an advocate of kids playing sports if the environment is positive and fun, and the kids are allowed to own their own developmental experience. But many times this isn't the case. And here are a couple things just to think about when we talk about how sometimes performance and achievement become the primary goal of competing in sports. First, let's talk about injuries. The risk of sports injuries for any student athlete is something that can't be denied. And statistics reveal that over 90% of student athletes report some sort of sports-related injury at some time in their career. 54% of student athletes report they've played while injured. 12% report they've sustained a concussion or head injury. And this one, as an old coach, really hurts my heart. 53% of coaches complain that they have felt pressure from a parent or player to put a student athlete back in a game after the student athlete had been injured. The safety of the athlete should always come first. And what about enhancing performance? According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, prescription drug abuse has never been as prominent among teenagers as it is now, with millions of teens opting for self-medication on pills, even over narcotic street drug use. The NIDA investigated heavily into rumors about student athletes abusing prescription painkillers. They surveyed many boys and girls who participated in multiple team sports or individual sports. And then they also surveyed a separate group of non-athlete students to obtain a clear comparison between the groups. And according to the research, the NIDA was able to determine that student athletes were far more likely to abuse any drug, but were particularly more likely to abuse prescription pain relievers. And in another survey, researchers with the American Academy of Pediatrics examined the use of substances from energy drinks to steroids in middle and high school students. This study, published in Pediatrics, found not only do student athletes report using these products for a competitive advantage, but non-athletes use these same substances to supplement their looks. Conservative estimates show that roughly 5% of students report using even the most dangerous drugs, anabolic steroids or human growth hormone, sometime in their lives. And one of the doctors from the survey says 5% of something affecting kids, that's a lot of kids. And overall, the study found that caffeine is the most widely used substance, with 73% of preteens and teens reporting using it. A 2017 study found that high school students who engaged in high contact sports, hockey, football, lacrosse, and wrestling, were almost 2 times more likely to binge drink or smoke marijuana compared to their non-athlete peers. A player's identity and self-esteem can be shaped through playing sports. And when athletics play such a powerful role in a person's life that they might be willing to risk long-term health problems for short-term gains in strength, power, or endurance, then we need to reconsider what culture do we have. The culture of playing through pain only encourages the mindset of putting competition above everything else. I think a lot of parents start their kids into sports just to get them involved or maybe to play with their friends. But many times this turns into living vicariously through their kids. All you have to do is peek at social media feeds to see all the parents' posts on how well their kid performed or the team did. And as time and money invested in sports continues to grow, some look at the process as a way to win championships or even college scholarships. In fact, let's talk about scholarships for a minute. The facts are very few kids ever get a scholarship to play in college. In fact, if you look at it simply by the numbers, the return on investment is not very good. According to the NCAA, many kids grow up dreaming of playing sports in college and beyond, but there's nearly 8 million students participating in high school athletics in the US, and only 495,000 of them will compete at an NCAA school. And only a small percentage of those ever get any scholarship dollars. In fact, according to the NCAA, only 1.2% of high school baseball players in Minnesota are recruited by Division I schools. For Wisconsin, it's 1.5%, Iowa 1.1%. And for girls in softball, it's even less. Minnesota is 0.6%, Wisconsin 0.8%. And how about boys and girls basketball? For boys basketball in Minnesota, 0.8%, Wisconsin 0.7%. And for girls in Minnesota, 1%, and girls in Wisconsin, 1.1%. So why are we putting so much emphasis on performance and championships? And why do we think our kids are going to get a scholarship when the numbers really aren't that high? In contrast, the likelihood of an NCAA athlete earning a college degree is significantly higher. Graduation rates are anywhere from 70% Division II to 87% Division III and Division I. And I love that kids play sports, but let's keep a proper perspective. The real benefits that kids reap from participating when youth sports are done right are being active, having fun, being with their friends, working with others, learning to overcome adversity, developing other new physical skills and abilities, developing a work ethic, learning how to set goals and how to work to achieve those goals. In order for our kids to develop properly, we have to put them first. We call it youth sports done right by putting our youth first. Thanks for watching today, and stay tuned for more youth messages in 2022.